Have you ever asked yourself, should I get a van or a truck camper? And here's the thing, the answer isn't as simple as you think. After living in our van for over a year and also owning a pop-up truck camper, we have some things to say about them both, and it might surprise you. Join us as we share what we've learned about storage, power, water, bathrooms, living space, and how far off the pavement you can actually go so you can decide which setup makes the most sense for you. And at the end of this video, we'll share what we think about the perfect rig. We love that there are so many ways to get out and explore, whether you're cowboy camping or you have a very expensive $500,000 earth roamer. There really isn't a wrong way to get out. But one question that we get asked a lot is if we would rather travel in our van or our truck camper. And since we have experience in both, that's what we're going to be covering for you guys today.
Behind me, we have our 2022 Mercedes Sprinter. It's the 144 wheelbase, four-wheel drive, and it has a custom camper build. Back home, we have a 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road with the 2019 four-wheel camper slide-in. Let's talk about layout. One thing we really love about this van is ease of movement. The living space is always pretty much like this all the time. The kitchen's always ready to go. If one person wants to get up in the morning to jump on the computer for work or to make coffee, they can do so, and the other person can just kind of lay around in bed if they want.
The four-wheel camper also has a pretty roomy and nice livable space, especially considering it's literally sitting in the back of a pickup truck. The downside to the four-wheel camper is that for us, being a couple with our dog, we have to slide out our bed in order to make it, spacious enough for us to sleep comfortably at night, which means that it covers like pretty much our whole kitchen and living area when we do that. So if one person wants to go to bed early or remain in bed later in the morning, the other person has to do the same. You really can't enjoy the living space and have the bed out deployed at the same time.
When you're living on the road, one of the most important things to us anyway is storage, and we love how much storage the van has. We've got our cabinets up here where we each keep our clothes, got Emily's side, my side, and then we have our pantry, keep all our foodstuffs, cooking supplies. We also have 4 kitchen drawers. We have our medicine cabinet, utensil drawer, our induction stovetop, cutting boards, and our pots and pans. And below me, we have a foot locker where we keep things like shoes, dirty laundry, supplies that we don't necessarily use every single day, but we want them close by. Something else we love about this van is we have a fixed bed. One of the good things about the fixed bed is you don't have to break anything down in the morning. You just kind of tidy it up. And under it is a dedicated garage space, which is awesome. And on top of the van, we carry 2 95-liter Roam boxes to keep things that we might need down the road, but obviously don't need every single day. And in the back of the van, we have 2 owl boxes, one large and one medium, that are attached to a mole rack.
Storage in the truck camper is much different, to say the least. Unfortunately, it doesn't have all the built-in storage that we have. And a lot of that is just the particular model of the four-wheel camper that we have. We have the Fleet, which is a much smaller model meant for Tacomas. There are some bigger four-wheel campers that have much more built-in storage. But for the purposes of ours, we are storing things either in the actual truck cab in the back with Wes where he rides, which I know that he doesn't appreciate, and he'd probably love that full back seat if he could. The other place that we're storing things is actually in the camper, like on the floor. There's a little foot locker in there as well as some storage under the sink, but our primary place to put like our camping gear, chairs, cooking supplies is literally on the floor of the four-wheel camper, which makes it less than convenient when you are either getting to camp and want to set up or breaking things down and ready to pack up.
For power, our van has 240 amp hours of battery, lithium battery, Battleborn, that are hooked up to the Victron system. And up top, we have 320 watts of solar.
The power in the van is definitely better than the truck camper. In the truck camper, we only have 200 watts of solar and 2 lead acid deep cycle RV batteries. But when you live on the road like this, or even if you're out for long trips or weekend trips, you can never have enough battery, which is why we have been partnering with Bluetti for quite a while and are so excited to say that they are also the sponsor of today's video. We have been enjoying their portable batteries for months now, and one thing that we are so excited to announce today is the launch of Bluetti's first alternator charger in the entire world that is also a smart energy hub. And this charger too is going to completely change the capability of our power when we are in the truck camper. It brings your alternator, starter battery, power station, solar panels, DC hub, and any portable batteries all together into one smart ecosystem. And even though it is a Bluetti charger, it is compatible with most other batteries as well. Not only does it require a lot less effort to keep our Bluetti batteries topped off, but it also charges them extremely fast. It charges them 13 times faster than a regular car charger. You can get up to 1,200 watts from your vehicle and solar panels when you're charging, which is absolutely amazing when you're enjoying this off-grid lifestyle. So let's talk about the Smart Energy Hub. From there, you can charge anything from your car fridge to lights to fans, any 12 volt or 24 volt devices. All you have to do is plug it in and you're ready to go. It's super easy to monitor everything. You can just look at the Bluetti app on your phone and see what is coming in and what is going out to make sure that all the systems are running. Since we've had this installed, we have just found it to work so seamlessly. We were also really pleasantly surprised with how basic the install was. If you have any sort of just, kind of basic working knowledge of DC to DC, you can get this installed like we did in probably about 15 minutes. Not only that, I do want to mention, because this is a brand new product for Bluetti, they're offering an incredible sale on it right now. So make sure that you pick up your charger too to run either a build that you already have where maybe the batteries just aren't quite what you need, like us, or if you're building out something from scratch, the Bluetti environment can be your complete power system for your van, your truck, or whatever. If we were building out a van from scratch these days, you can absolutely believe that instead of installing some crazy, power system, we would be doing it ourselves with Bluetti because they have all of the battery that you need to make sure that you can live this lifestyle comfortably. If you're interested in getting your own Bluetti, either power station or the charger too, to keep your batteries topped off and enjoying life on the road, click the QR code here, or I'll also be putting a link in the description below where you can check out more about their brand new Charger 2. Now let's get back to talking about the differences between the van and the truck.
For water in the van, we have a 30-gallon fresh water tank. We also have what I believe is a 2.8-gallon water heater, which is electric. We have a 3-stage water filter under the sink, and we're completely self-contained. We have a 5-gallon gray water tank under the sink. It's a jerry can. We also have an indoor shower with the hidden shower pan on the floor here that also has a gray water tank. And we have a outdoor shower, which comes in handy when you're at the beach or it's nice out and you need to hose off, or if your dog rolls in something and you need to hose him off outside. That really comes in handy, doesn't it, Wes? Because you do like to roll and stuff.
Not him.
He's here. He went, For our bathroom, we have the Nature's Head composting toilet stored in our garage. To use it, you just slide it out, do your business, slide it back in, forget about it, and we have to change out our compost about once a month.
For water in the four-wheel camper, we have a 20-gallon fresh water tank plus a 2-gallon hot water heater. The hot water heater in the four-wheel camper is a propane heater, which heats it up really fast and obviously doesn't have any draw on the battery. So I'd have to say that definitely wins in the four-wheel camper. Love the propane water heater. However, where it lacks is, first of all, it doesn't have the 3-stage water filter under the sink like we have here in the van. So we filter the water when it's going into the freshwater tank, but I don't personally like the way that the water tastes in the four-wheel camper, so I find myself hauling around other drinking water when we're in the camper. It also doesn't have an indoor shower, so if weather's cold, we can use the outdoor shower that the four-wheel camper has, but you're going to be out in the elements, and nobody likes to take a shower when it's cold and raining outside. And then lastly, to do your business in the four-wheel camper, we have a bucket and a bag, and I don't think I need to say much else about that. One last thing, in the four-wheel camper, we don't have an indoor, or should I say self-contained, gray water tank, so we're literally running a hose outside into a little kind of collapsible water tank that we have. So if you're trying to be a little bit more stealth, or you just don't want to attract animals, having that gray water run outside into a collection bin is not always ideal.
All right, let's talk about off-road capability. We love overlanding, we love off-roading, we love getting to those camp spots that might take a little more work than just your normal city, state campground. The van is four-wheel drive. It is very capable. I love off-roading in this thing. However, there are some places, some of our personal favorite places, we just won't take the van. It's tall, it's a little top-heavy. Some of these places have it like a narrow tree tunnel. So to risk damage to the van, we keep it to certain levels of off-roading.
Yeah, this is really where the four-wheel camper and the Tacoma shine. So the Tacoma has a rear locker that allows us to get to those kind of extra hard-to-reach places.
Spicy places.
Yeah, for sure. Also has a lower center of gravity, and of course is a lot shorter, which, and I mean like height-wise, which you might not think much of, but we have found ourselves going through some pretty low tree branches that would just be a complete non-starter for the van. And it's also a lot more lightweight. So when you're in sand or rocky terrain or going up something really steep, it just performs a lot better. So I think that we've got to give off-road capability to the truck camper. If that's something that you really want to prioritize, then just consider if all of the places that you would want to go are actually somewhere you'd be able to access in something as big as the van.
I'd like to add, I have a lot more fun when we're off-roading in the Tacoma. When we're in the van off-roading, I do get a little nervous sometimes and a little, it's a little unsettling, but they're both fun. They're both very capable.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk a little bit about stealth camping. We really don't do that really at all. But if we were, I think the van would be a lot easier to roll into somewhere, put up your shades. You'd probably get away with it over a night or two. Whereas the four-wheel pop-up, you're going to have to roll up somewhere and actually pop up the top, and then you have all your stuff in there. So I think as far as stealth camping goes, the van definitely has an edge on that, which takes us into our next section, living on the road.
For living on the road, daily life, and just long-term travel, I definitely think that the van has a one-up here. We lived in this van for a year and a half, traveling up to Alaska over 2 summers and everywhere in between. And honestly, I don't know if I could have done that in the truck camper. Routines are just a lot easier in the van. As Brian was mentioning earlier, you're not so dependent on exactly what the other person, if you're a couple, is doing at all given times. It's also just a lot easier to get up and go. When you're moving every single day, we tend to move a lot. Not having to completely break camp, pack everything down, pull the top down in the 4-wheel camper makes a big difference and also saves a lot of time. Same is true in reverse. When you get to camp, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. While we still do love the interior of the 4-wheel camper and how spacious it is for being in the back of a truck, the van, just from a day-to-day standpoint, being able to get up and go, it's really where it's at.
Wes has been outside partying, so he might be a heavy breather right now. Let's talk about cost and maintenance. Everyone knows when you see that Mercedes emblem, it's just dollar signs. That's just how it is. Parts are crazy expensive. Labor's really expensive. As far as the Mercedes service shops go, they've actually taken us for a ride a couple times. We haven't had very good experiences with that. And also we have the extended warranty. So we have to be really careful with mods, whatever work I do to it, so we don't void that warranty, because it has definitely come in handy. Whereas the Tacoma, we're not as worried about stuff like the warranty. I actually think we're getting close to the end of that warranty. I've done most of the upgrades myself. Parts are not nearly as expensive, and we've had pretty good luck with the actual Toyota service department. So there's that. And one last thing, if you find yourself like we did, like if you're living out of your van and it's in the shop for days or weeks, then we have to find somewhere to go until those issues are resolved. And finding a place for us isn't that hard, but sometimes finding a place for us and our buddy here can make things really difficult. So that's another kind of, I guess, strike on the Mercedes.
So you might be asking yourself, what rig is right for you? And while this is highly, highly subjective, this is just our take on what rig might be better. Given that we are a couple traveling with our buddy back here, long distances for long periods of time in areas that don't always have the best weather. Really, I think for a profile for us, the van is just better suited.
And maybe you don't have as much stuff or don't need as much stuff. Maybe you're going on shorter trips. Maybe you want to go do some more off-roading, really get out there. And I think the 4-wheel camper is probably more suited for you.
So we want to know from you, if you were building out your perfect rig, what would it be? Would it be a van, a truck camper, a trailer, a big RV, an earth roamer, or something different? Drop a comment and let us know why too. We love hearing from our community and we read every single comment. So please let us know, what is your perfect rig? Now for us, we do have to say something that might surprise you. After traveling in the van and in the truck camper, maybe this won't surprise you. We don't really feel that there is one perfect rig.
No, there are trade-offs. It's comfort, mobility, safety. How far do you want to go out? What kind of season is it? Where are you in your life? Do you have a senior dog with you? Things like that will definitely help you decide on which rig might be better for you.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, like I said, being where we are right now, wanting to travel across the country, back up into Canada and beyond, especially with Wes, who is having a harder time getting in and out of the truck camper and just around in the truck camper. I mean, he's going to be 14 in a couple of weeks, which is mind-blowing, although that is a made-up birthday because he's rescue dog. We don't know exactly what his birthday is.
He's doing good though.
We prioritize him, and we're also prioritizing, I think, our comfort and just what works best for us long term together with our routines. And that is in the van. It's not to say that we don't still cherish the four-wheel camper and the truck and all the amazing memories that we've made in it, but right now, I gotta say that the van wins for us.
Agreed. We hope you guys found this video helpful. We hope it helps you decide on what you might want to build or get into as far as overlanding, camping, off-roading goes.
But remember, there is no wrong way to get out there. As long as you're getting out
Just
there,
get out there.
you're doing the right thing.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, hype, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next adventure out there. Bye!